Do you find yourself looking at your phone when you're just kind of waiting around? Like when you're in line or in a queue for something or in a waiting room, or maybe when you're actually supposed to be doing something else? Yeah, me too. In this video, I'm going to talk about the ways we get sucked into being on our phones so much of our time, how this can destroy our attention, and then 5 ways where we can start to build better habits to still be able to use our phones, but maybe a bit more intentionally, freeing us up to do other things too. Constantly being on your phone while in line for the bus or even walking down the street, people do this, can prevent you from paying attention to your physical and mental well-being. And that means not only might you be missing out on stuff, but it also might be pretty dangerous for you too. It's easy to get sucked into a social media spiral too, and it can be hard to break away from it. And it can stop you from doing things in the real world outside your phone that you'd really like to do, if only you could focus or even remember what those things were. But don't be too hard on yourself. Just think about the last time when you told yourself today is going to be different, as if you're going to become a different person in your sleep and magically transform into someone who you aspire to be. The monk who does not look at their phone. Do monks actually have phones? No matter how many notifications that phone sends them, and I'll talk about notifications later, chances are you probably spent another day on social media consuming content perhaps you don't even really enjoy. Okay, let me just check my screen report. Oh, that's not good. Monday and Tuesday are kind of off the chart, but that's because I was making my last video and I edit on my iPad using LumaFusion and film on my phone. I was also writing my newsletter here too, but still, yeah, quite a lot of time on Instagram and Twitter, right? I can get sucked into my phone world and I wish I could do better. And each day I try to do a little better than before. The important thing to remember is that these phones are addictive because they're designed to be that way. Using them intentionally for a bit is fine, but letting your phone usage snowball can become a problem. And look, we are not alone with this. I mean, just look around you. Every day, in every way, you'll find people with their heads down deep in their phones. It's even changing people's bodies. When you hunch forward, the natural curve of your neck is altered, and prolonged misalignment of your neck can lead to muscle strain and damage over time. 3 things happen when you drop your neck. Your neck moves forward, your shoulders roll forward, round forward, and lift up towards your ears, and your neck and your shoulder muscles spasm. They actually kind of lock and contract in place. Now, your neck muscles are designed to support the weight of your head, which is about 10 to 12 pounds. For every inch you drop your head forward, you double the load on those muscles. So, looking down at your smartphone with your chin to your chest can put about 60 pounds of force on your neck. That's 5 times the usual force, hour after hour, day after day. It's no wonder people are complaining about text neck. So how much of a problem is this? Now, according to one commercial study of 11,000 users, they found that people on average spend about 3 hours and 15 minutes on our phones each day. Now, that's just an average. When they broke these numbers down, we see that the top 20% of smartphone users have daily screen time in excess of 4.5 hours. Now, you add that up, that's over 22 hours per week. How's that unpaid part-time job going for you? They also found that on average, users check their phones 58 times a day, with 30 check-ins happening during working hours, say 9 till 5 p.m. And here's where it starts getting a little crazy, because a single pickup of your phone can set off a chain reaction. They found that half of all phone pickups happen within 3 minutes of a previous one, and that destroys our attention. Check this scenario out. It may seem a little familiar. Let's say you're at work focusing on a project when all of a sudden, a text from your partner. Nothing urgent, but you respond to it anyway. Okay, good. Distraction avoided. Time to get back to work. But 2 minutes later, a follow-up question. Now, if this back and forth goes on for the next 20 or 30 minutes or longer, depending upon how long there is between these responses, how can you be expected to stay focused? Because the truth is, you're not. Psychologists have found that even brief mental blocks created by shifting between tasks, work, phone, can cost as much as 40% of your productive time. So problems with your body and your attention. And I'm not even talking about problems on social media, getting into fights or feeling bad about yourself because you've been comparing yourself to people's feeds who seem to have perfect lives, all very carefully presented and curated to get your attention mostly. Yes, your phone is useful, but not all the time. So, how can you put your phone down to escape all this? Let me share with you 5 ways I have found success putting down my phone and paying more attention to the world around me. First, bring awareness to your phone use. Find out the depth of the hole you're in. You can use an app, or you can simply use your screen time analysis on a device like iOS to track how often you're on your phone and what you're doing. Yes, it can feel a little scary to actually put numbers on the size of your problem. But this first step is all about increasing your awareness and bringing your attention to it, because if you don't know what to fix, we can't start to find a solution. Second, make a plan and start swapping to other activities. Change your lock screen wallpaper to something that reminds you why you wanted to put your phone down more. Maybe it's because you want to read more books, or you want to exercise more, listen to more podcasts, or create more or socialize more in person. And start these activities instead of looking at your phone. Now for me, this is about exercising more and being outdoors. Instead of looking at my phone, I have my exercise clothes laid out in the morning and an easy way to do some snack size exercise like a 10-minute workout using Apple Fitness. Whatever you're doing, make sure you have a low barrier to entry. Make it easy, because that's why your phone wins much of the time. It's so easy to just pick up your phone. So make it really easy to do something else instead. Whether that's listening to music on a separate music device like a HomePod, or picking up a Kindle that you've already got loaded with books that you just can't wait to read. And this leads us nicely up to number 3. Change your environment. What we have around us in our immediate environment plays a huge role in our day-to-day habits. We perform most of our habits on autopilot. Most of us don't think or question when picking up the phone. The habits we've already built are very hard to break. So rather than relying on our willpower alone, because if that worked, we would have already have changed, what we can do is intentionally design our environment to help us achieve our goals. One thing I quite like doing is putting a couple of books I'm reading next to my bed. Not only does this make it less likely that I'll spend my time scrolling before going to bed, it also reduces the amount of blue light I'm exposed to just when I'm trying to go to sleep. Blue light just keeps your brain awake, so we want to limit that just before we go to sleep as much as possible. Fourth, set boundaries. It's important to set boundaries around your phone use and to stick to them. This could be something like no phones at the dinner table or no phones in the bedroom. You can also set yourself a daily limit on how much time you spend on your phone each day. Another thing we can do to set boundaries is to limit our notifications. Turning off or limiting notifications means I have more uninterrupted time, meaning that when I pick up that book, I can really spend some time getting into it and not just getting distracted by my phone again. Fifth, get an accountability buddy. It's always easier to stick to something if you have someone else holding you accountable. Find a friend or family member who's also trying to put their phone down more and check in with each other regularly. Maybe it's the partner that you live with, if that describes your life. You can even set up a reward system for when you both reach your goals, like going out for dinner or having a movie night and spending time with each other without phones. Finally, be kind to yourself. It's easy to beat ourselves up when we don't stick to our goals, but it's important to remember that this is a process and it takes time. We are all human and we make mistakes. The important thing is that we learn from them and keep trying. In my next video coming soon, I'll check out an app that promises to help you limit the time you spend on your phone and your other devices too. Be sure to check here when it's available or subscribe to get notified. Thanks for watching. And did you watch this on your phone?